And let's give you guys a pull. Wow. What a car. What a car. 2026 Porsche 911 GT3 Touring. This is the 992.2. And here's the thing, I just reviewed a 992.1 less than a week ago, although it was on a different road. But I'm very curious to tell you now, driving both of them back to back, how they actually compare, because there are a few notable differences here. We're still powered by the 4-liter naturally aspirated flat 6, making 502 horsepower, this time only 330 pound-feet of torque, mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. You can also option it with a 7-speed PDK. We're weighing in at 3,220 pounds. With the 992 generation GT3, we now have double wishbone in the front and multi-link in the rear. The electric power steering is retuned in the .2 versus the .1. And also compared to the .1, we have an 8% shorter final drive in the manual. And that's because Porsche says the 15 pound-foot of torque decrease. So they want to compensate for that. And it also has revised damper tuning and bump stops, also a slightly restyled exterior and interior, which has a full digital dash and a rotary ignition switch. Now with the Touring package, this is essentially the understated GT3. So it deletes the swan neck rear wing in favor of this automatic pop-up spoiler with a gurney flap. And you also get the standard adaptive sports seats, optional rear seats, which is exclusive to the .2 and the .1 and prior generations of GT3. You could not get rear seats. And we also get a leather steering wheel rather than Alcantara. Now they did bump up the MSRP by a huge degree with the .2. So 236K starting MSRP, and now it's actually just over 300K with options. The PCCBs are 10K, black leather is 6.6K, front axle lift is 3.9K, and there's all these other options too. The exterior is also in Lugano blue, which is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful color. And if you guys have ever been to Lugano, Switzerland, I just went there for the first time last year. One of my favorite cities in all of Europe. So gorgeous. The blend of the Swiss and Italian cultures in that city is just perfection. Now, in terms of market value, there was a markup on this. The owner purchased this at around 330K, and my buddy just got his 992.1 last week for 280K. It is roughly a $50,000 price premium to go with the .2 versus the .1. Very much the gentleman's GT3, very understated. We got these new Porsche carbon buckets. My buddy had the sofas, and you can actually remove the headrest here. So when you're actually with the helmet, it won't jut out as much. Now these are folding to get access to the rear, but they don't actually have tilt, which is an interesting choice. If you're gonna build the functionality for it to fold, why not have it tilt as well? So you're not having to sit so upright, which is a common issue, common complaint that I and many others have with the Porsche carbon buckets. I am personally very sad to see that we lost the beautiful analog tach and now we have a fully digital gauge. I think this looks actually a lot cheaper. The screen quality is great, but just having a digital rather than an analog tach, in my opinion, is a lot cheaper. The nice thing though is when you go to sport, you get the 9,000 RPM redline right at noon, which makes it a lot easier to view from your periphery. And we have all the different drive modes up. We're already going to be in sport, auto blip disabled, sport exhaust is enabled, and we're going to play around with the adaptive dampers between the softer sport setting and the more firm track setting. And other than the tach, I mean, it's obviously pretty much the same as the 992.1. We have our front axle lift engaged. Very nice quality of life improvement. Already that engine, I absolutely love it. You get on the brakes, you have these beautifully firm and easy to modulate Porsche brakes that are just delicious. Such a pleasure to use. And I'm surprised by the steering already after just a couple corners, because it is quite communicative and it does feel less darty and less nervous than that 992.1 that I drove. You actually get a decent amount of road texture, surprisingly so. We have double wishbone as well on the front end, getting a lot of confidence on the front axle. I don't have to manage that rear weight bias quite as much. Rear steer coming standard with the GT3 is helping with that, obviously. Wow, what a car. What a car. The damping here as well is more compliant. I mean, I drove not only that 992.1, the Touring, but I also drove a regular 2.1 GT3, and the suspension there was a little bit, you were feeling a bit too much, and there wasn't the same degree of compliance. This feels like it has more of that composure, slightly more compliance, good damping there, even over that larger bump mid-corner, not really getting upset. Now let's give you guys a pull. These gears do feel shorter, that's for sure. 8% is definitely notable. First gear I think is like 52 versus 46 miles an hour, and I think second is like 84 versus 77. So it's not massive, but it's definitely notable. Behind the wheel in the canyons, you do feel that. Yeah, you know, the steering here is even better than in that 992.1 that I just drove recently. And not just the, like right off center, it doesn't have that same nervous twitchiness, overly dartiness feeling, because they retuned the E-Pass, but it's also, it actually has more feedback too. Oh yeah, you can feel the LSD, power at the rear helping you rotate. Wow. What a car. What a car. The price though, at $330K, this car is now getting to be within my budget for a street car. I still don't feel comfortable tracking a car at this price point, because tracking and streeting a car are two very, very different things. And part of me thinks like it's a lot of money for a car like this. Beautiful 458, actually just reviewed that. You can find that comparison against a 599 GTB, linked below. I mean, the inputs there, just to do that double clutch heel toe, there's no learning curve. Porsche inputs are incredible. The only nitpick I have, bro, that you should not be on the double yellow. Stay in your lane, please. The only nitpick I have is at lower RPMs, you have to blip it hard, like I did there, because the throttle response at lower RPMs feels like it's just slightly sluggish, whereas it feels totally on point at the mid and high RPMs. So at this price point though, the thing that I love about Porsche GT products is that they hold their value so well, or even appreciate, right? And that very much lessens the sting of the price point, but it's still a lot of money for what this car is. Beautifully stiff and rigid chassis, but it's still no carbon tub from the likes of McLaren, as an example. The suspension is getting better and better with each generation. Again, the dot, bro, why are you crossing the double yellow? Like, just, anyways, the suspension is getting better and better. You know, the 991.1 versus the 1.2 versus the 2.1 versus now the 2.2. You can feel the improvement in each generation. The PASM gets better and better, and you know, we didn't even try track. I did that on the way up, and it does have a large magnitude shift, and you feel a lot more chatter from the road. Let's give you one more pull. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a glorious engine. It's everything you want. Naturally aspirated, pulls to redline, amazing sound, plenty of power for the weight. 500 plus horsepower, 3,200 pounds. Just what the doctor ordered. I love it. And yeah, track, it is over damped for this road, but that's why you have different settings for different roads. In sport, it feels nice and quick responding, good body control. It's actually a notable improvement over the 2.1. Even under braking, like when I just did that pull right there, In the 2.1, when I got hard on the brakes, there was a little bit of wiggle and a little bit like instability at the rear. It would kind of shimmy and shake. Whereas here, it feels more stable and more buttoned down. Truly an incredible car. And it's hard to find fault with these. I mean, with each successive generation, they just keep perfecting the formula, that tried and true 911 formula. It just gets more and more technically proficient. And there are certain 911s that I've driven where, you know, it's like the GTS or Carrera 4, and, you know, the ones that really speak to me are the GT3s. And even though this car doesn't have the same level of rawness as a 997 that I love, and that very race car, super heavy clutch, super heavy throws to the transmission. Like here, the transmission has this nice, it feels very similar to the 2.1. It feels essentially identical. It has nice, tight, crisp, and medium effort shifts that are so clear as you go from gate to neutral to gate. And like all the inputs have just gotten more technically good. And even the steering, it's not quite as much communication as a 997, but this 992.2 has actually better steering than even a 991.2 GT3 RS that I reviewed on the same road. So one of the best, if not the best, electric power steering in terms of feedback and precision and naturalness. Actually, I would say the 991.2 GT3 RS has a sharper steering ratio because, I mean, you have sphericals and all that stuff. But in terms of feedback, this actually has the edge and subtly improved even over the 992.1. Again, more of that is the actual on-center feel and naturalness rather than you having to learn the car and it feeling a little bit darty right off center. But beautifully calibrated steering, amazing inputs. The double wishbone front has really transformed, combined with the rear steer, that approachability and technical perfection of the 992 GT3. It is just truly something else. Now, going back to the 992.1 and 992.2 question, is it worth an extra 50K? Here's what I'll say. If it was my money, I'd probably stick with the 992.1. I think that the shorter gears here are better, and they are notable. I think the suspension and the steering here are better, and they are notable. But I'm looking at this tack all the time, and just the specialness of that tack. I'm sure that the E-Pass, you can probably flash the .2 into the .1 and probably get the same thing, because I think the hardware is the same, it's just the actual tuning. The tack, though, you're going to be looking at a digital tack. And I feel like this, if I can get the same steering on the 2.1 and that analog tack, I would take that, even though the suspension isn't quite up to the same degree in terms of the compliance and stability and composure. You're still splitting hairs. They're both excellent. This is a notable improvement, but that thing is 95% of the way there. My friends, let me know what you think of the 992.2 GT3 and how it compares to the 992.1. Which one would you pick? And do you think it's worth the $50,000 premium? Let me know with a comment down below. And if you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabbalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. And big shout out to the owner of Yue for letting me review his 992.2 GT3 Touring. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.